Hello and welcome to another update video about the NASDAQ. NASDAQ has pretty much followed through with the analysis and the idea I had last week. So my thesis was that we had a top in place in this circle wave 3 here. That was on Monday, the 12th of February. We've seen that decline, the pullback basically to this trend line, which in my last few updates, I think last couple of updates, I highlighted as an A wave. Looks like a 3-wave move. Then we're watching for that B wave rally into resistance. I think in my last update, we had already started the decline here. I think it was the weekend update in which I communicated, okay, we might be looking at more declines next week, more downside pressure, especially as long as the Friday swing high at 17,900 stays intact. That's also pretty much in line with what the S&P 500 is doing at the moment. Here, the idea is now that we are obviously in this C wave and we might nearly be done with that decline. I see it as a wave 4, and I have still left the labels as I had them in the last video, but obviously the price has moved on, so we just need to shift them in the right place. But the overall support area remains the same. So for me, main support is down here around 17,180. That doesn't mean it is a target, but it means that below that level I might have to reconsider the overall perspective here, the overall analysis. Anyway, I'm looking at lower prices until a first break of resistance or a first small 5-wave move up is showing now. And that would then be a signal that we're turning back to the upside. Elliott wave gives us the context to suggest that we might see one more high here in wave 5, okay, to round about, yeah, maybe 18,500 to 19,000 in the coming weeks and months. At the moment, we are, however, in a declining market. And that started on Friday with that C wave, actually already here on Monday, you know. So let's take a look at the structure. I've got this A wave down, I've got this B wave up, and we're now watching for this C wave to the downside. The nano structure isn't crystal clear. It is further complicated through the use of obviously, I mean, there are different instruments out there. This is the continuous contract. You get the March contract, then you have the NASDAQ cash chart. So that doesn't make it easier, but let's take a look at the structure that we have here on the chart. So I've got the C wave of wave 4 that's still unfolding. I think the first step that I would like to undertake is that we take the length. So we measure the length of the A wave. So we then go to the top of the B wave, and we're looking typically for the 100% extension level as a first level to watch, and that is here at 17,450. We're there right now. I mean, if it doesn't stop there, obviously there are further levels to look, but it's certainly one level to watch and keep an eye on. The next one is the 1.236 extension, 1.38, and even the 1.618. They are all worth watching, even though this goes down below the support area, but it's not an invalidation point, this 50% retracement. So it might be worth watching. That's, you know, something to watch. Then it's typically a great way to determine the end of a third wave is, so first of all, we've got these levels defined. So pay attention to those in addition to the already defined support levels. Typical target for a third wave, yeah, typically looking at the 1.236 or the 1.38 extension. So that was already reached. It is possible that this was a third wave and we had a very, very shallow fourth. Yeah, I would prefer a more healthy fourth wave, but I cannot rule out that this was already the third wave. Bear in mind that this is a messy continuous E-mini futures contract. So it looks a bit different on the NASDAQ cash. And then, yeah, maybe one more low to wrap this up, maybe to the 38.2 retracement level or a little lower. But bottom line is I focus on lower until we see a first small impulse. And I would say downside pressure remains high. We already see a small reaction to the 100% level now. Downside pressure remains high as long as the price is below that. What was that? Today's low, today's high. Here, 17,725. But yeah, that's essentially what I'm watching. I think we should be ideally fairly close to a low, but then again, there is no low until we have first reaction to the upside and the first break above resistance and a higher low. So that's what I'm watching for, but this is the area to watch for a low. I think the roadmap has been very helpful to guide the price down lower into the support region, and there should be one more high in wave 5. Would have to change my perspective potentially if we see a sustained break below $17,102. Yeah, there's my update about the NASDAQ. Hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you're interested in daily updates about the S&P 500 as well as regular updates about stocks, then please check out our S&P 500 and stock service. You'll find the link in the description. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.